Welcome to your ultimate podcast with Sally and Bobby here.
How's everyone doing?
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling amazing.
Me too.
The first time, is this how it really feels?
I'm breathing different. I noticed that I don't have the same, I don't know, it felt like, I'm going to tag you here.
Yes, please.
Let's start from the beginning. We're going to be out here for a good solid hour, okay? So we should wrap this up by around 11:11 our local time.
Ooh.
And just wanted to come out to you guys, share a bit of love, share a bit of our journey and our experience so far. What's up, Jess? How you doing? West Coast? What's up? I'm not sure if you're West Coast or East Coast.
Oh, hey, Jess.
You feel like a West Coast kind of gal. So we're going to be here for an hour. We're going to talk about some stuff. It's going to be pretty cool. This is a really big topic. It's one that's been weighing on my mind for my entire life, and I never really realized it. And it's been just unbelievable, the experience I had. I had my first, and this isn't the first time we're going to talk about it, but this is my premier experience doing hydrocolonics therapy, okay? So it's a really strange topic, putting water up the bum.
Nobody talks about it. No wonder I never heard of it.
I had some people talk about it. I knew some people who talk about it, and it's cool. It's all right. It's no big deal. I just wasn't going up the bum. You know what I'm saying? Any guys out there would be like, no, I don't know what you're talking about, bro.
No big deal for women, for sure.
Yeah, because women take it up the bum. But me, I don't. Men just do not do that. So if you guys can count how many bum puns we're going to be putting out through this. I'm just kidding. I wanted to throw out like a contest to see how many jokes I could come out. And but it's so super cool. Hey, Melody, what's up?
Oh, hey, Melody.
Oh, man, I feel different. I feel different.
Well, imagine this. Imagine you've been holding on to this since what? Birth? Should I say birth? Yeah. If you've never done it, yeah.
Unbelievable. Have you had one done? If you have, go ahead and drop it in the comments, or don't drop your shit in the comments. But let us know that you've had this experience. We're zooming right now. Okay, and we're also, on the live. The live is where we go for our audience. The Zoom, I'm going to put this on my YouTube. I got a YouTube channel.
She's got a clinic. Oh, Lynn.
She works for Lynn. Yeah, she's Lynn's right-hand gal.
Oh, right? Yeah, she's so amazing. She helped us. She's actually the reason.
Yeah.
It reminded us.
So, I don't know how to talk about this, because I'm just I'm still in a surreal feeling. I don't even feel the same. I feel completely different. Like, this spiritual weight has lifted, and I'm like, I don't even know how much I want to reveal, but I had a session with Lynn. All right, Lynn Finlay in what's it called, Melody? What's your guys's? I want to do a real powerful shout out. What's the clinic called? Melody Lay is also a hydrotherapist. I feel safe in front of for Melody, she's got that sparky energy. Okay, I remember I did her session. I did Lynn's session. Then I put it together, the two together, that you guys actually work together, as Lynn told me. Oh, okay. But Lynn goes and hires Melody to go and take care of the clinic and do this stuff, and and it's nuts. So what's the name of the clinic? I'd love to know what you guys do out there. This is in Australia from my AU buddies. It's out of Canada. It made me link up with Chantel David, who's a colonics therapist.
It's interesting how we met her.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't know where to begin. This is crazy. I don't know where to begin. So it was a dark, stormy night. No, I'm just kidding.
No, not like
Sally was trying to sell a water bidet, a little plug-in water seat that goes and sprays your butt when you're ready to be done on the toilet. Cool. Chinese people will be all about it. Japanese and all that stuff, and even when you go out there into the Philippines, they ain't got no toilet paper. It's all about washing water. But yeah, the Healthy Gut Center, colonics, in Darwin. Okay, so there's a place in Australia, straight up north, and they do this for you. And so Sally had, I feel like I should start earlier from there.
Yeah.
I feel like I want to start in 2015.
Hi, Lori.
I want to start in 2015. Hey, Lori. Hey, Jennifer. Thanks for watching. So 2015, I moved. I know, way far ago. The first time I heard about it, okay. Where there were people who put coffee up the butt and people who put water up their butt, and I'm like, you guys are crazy. And then they're like, no, man, straight out, this is what's up. And these guys got abs, and they're like, they're like health fitness guys, and they're eating their, like they're doing healthy things, and one's a vegan.
Those guys that want to remove the mercury and stuff.
Whatever it was. Oh my God, I don't even fully understand what just happened. Okay, so is that where you connect to the toilet? Yeah, like a seat, a bidet, yes. like a seat with a hose on it.
Sometimes it's like a self-clean thing. You don't even need to clean it.
So these guys are like all about it. Their coffee enemas and their colonics therapies and their hydro and stuff like this. And I'm like, I don't want to put anything up my bum. And I kind of left it at that. But then I started thinking, and I'm like, because I got into numerology, got into spirituality, and I kid you not, I was giving people advice that you should, if you feel comfortable, go get it done. And I probably wasn't selling it pretty hard because of the fact that I never had it done for myself. So I was putting these pieces together, and I'm like, wait a second. When you eat your food, it goes here. When you have a baby, it goes here. When you breathe, your diaphragm expands and compresses from here. Your sexual organs are here. Your food processes from here. This is like a high traffic location inside of the lower part. Your root chakras in here. Your core, your center, right? Everything is inside of your stomach. It's your second brain in there. I started picking up bits and pieces of information along the way and built my own sort of spiritual curriculum around this, okay? I learned that there's a nervous system inside of your stomach, that there are the same brain synapses in your brain as what occurs inside of your tummy. And so this started to put a really big, understanding for me to think that, you are what you eat, hangry, emotional eating, feeling like a food coma. Anybody been there when you're just like, and you go to a point you get angry and I would just like, want a cheeseburger or want to go get some fried chicken. That was my go-to. Go get a donair. And I was dating a girl at the time. She's like, you can't keep eating donairs. You're going to start looking like a donair. I'm like, oh, I already feel like I do. But the reality is that like I recognized that we collect energy inside of our stomachs.
Because it's energy as well.
But then not everything comes back out. Like stuff stays inside of your gut. Dead waste, things that are no longer there. And what happens to bacteria or to waste, it grows into bacteria. And then I learned about this biome. You got your own little like gut flora, and there's like live bacteria, good bacteria, bad bacteria. All of this stuff is happening inside of your gut. And and then when you eat bad food, suddenly the acidic waste creates bad bacteria that starts taking up rent inside of your colon, inside of your intestine system, where those brain synapses are. And then it ends up pressing for room service. So you literally become a zombie. You literally become a zombie, and you want to get more of this negative food in your body because there's negative food in your body being like, call in my friends. I want to have a party in here. And this is what you do to make yourself feel good. Like, no, it's not. Yes, it is. You're like, I'm angry. Or I'm irritable. I just need to, and I used to do this as a new parent, like, off of drugs. It's been about 1.5 years since I've been on them. And here we go. So now suddenly I'm like, I'm faced with parenthood. Overnight dad, 3 kids, 1 on the way. Like, Bobby, you're crazy. This is like the theme song of everybody who's talking to me. I was like, no, trust me, I know what I'm doing. I'm going to go out to the island, be happy and be alive, and I'm going to go have a family, and I'm going to do it. Because that was my like persistent obsession my whole life, was to have a big family, smoking hot wife, bunch of little kids, all that stuff, okay? So here I am, clearly hadn't dealt with the addiction. My sister was just like, you need to get help, you need to go to rehab, and this and that. I'm like, I'm fine. And then since I don't have drugs to lean on, I'm leaning on KFC, I'm leaning on Skip the Dishes, I'm leaning on, burgers and fish and chips and like all of the negative stuff, I gained almost 30 pounds. I call it the happy 30 because I've never been so happy in my life. This woman still loves me. She still wants to be with me. The kids think I'm a hero. All this stuff. My business is growing. So I didn't even notice that I was inflating and I was basically getting bigger. Even to the point my parents start buying me extra large. I'm like, hey, come on, I'm still large. They're buying me extra large clothing and for Christmas, and they're like, oh, you look healthy, you look big. And even my uncle's like, oh, you're gaining weight. And I'm like, I used to be super pissed when people called me fat or they called me big. It was such a sympathy weight. Oh, she's pregnant, now I'm gaining weight. Oh my God, like, come on, okay? Let's see here. Jennifer saying, it saved me after traveling in India. My bowel got hit hard, so colonics was a life. So I can appreciate that.
Oh, yeah. Lifesaver for sure. Yeah.
Oh, man. Just the feeling of being clear right now, it's like unreal, guys. I feel almost like high or drunk right now. Like it's nuts. So I put these pieces together that this acidic waste, you become a host and you become connected to the crap that you want to eat. And the problem with this is that this is your spiritual center. This is your own universal. Everybody has their own universe inside of them. We get super spiritual on you guys for a second. This is why I'm telling people when you change your name, it means something because everybody's been looking at your name and they're weaving you into the common fabric of reality, but everyone has their own spark of existence. Everybody has their own piece of God power that keeps on expanding and contracting and expanding and contracting and like your diaphragm is like a breathing mechanism. It's like a breathing spiritual gateway and portal. Sometimes it gets big enough to let humans, new souls through, and sometimes it gets attacked by the negative energy and the negative ghouls, the ghoul infestation, where the demonics and the negative spiritual energy also take hold inside of your body. And guys, we don't give birth. We don't do that. And so I was like, oh, you should figure out how to get that done. I'm like, no. I'm like, this is the human mechanism is that men don't get a chance to actually give life and give birth. So there's like a shift in this energy to think, I'm still collecting energy. And I used to make this joke. I'm like 33 years pregnant. How far along are you? Because I had this stomach and I never was able to get rid of it. And I did a little bit when I was on drugs, so that wasn't healthy. Losing a lot of everything. Hey, Francesca, what's up? Lori says, so sorry, I've got to run. Nice to see you. Very interesting. Yeah, catch the replay for sure. And subscribe to my YouTube, youtube.com/bell169. It's my number. Okay, so if me, and so, I regret that because I was a kid and 69 is a funny number. But it's also the Cancer symbol, so that's what I was looking for, the yin yang. And so I put it there, but I also wanted to be edgy because I was 15. So anyway, Bell169 is my YouTube handle. I can't change it, and I'm already building my vibe now.
It's okay,
so
it's yin yang.
It's okay, yin yang. Okay, feng shui. So I collected a lot of negative spiritual energy. I opened the gates at a very young age. By doing psychedelics, doing drugs, being in self-loathing, hosting an evil inside of me that I can't even begin to describe you. And it was like watching that movie Split. Anybody see that thing where the guy has like 20 different personalities? Poor Sally has to experience them all. But the reality is that like I felt like I was being held hostage by my own body. And I was like, oh, I don't want to do that colonics. No, I don't need to go up the body. I was like, oh, nothing goes up there. And it's almost as if I was protecting my identity. I was protecting my spiritual identity about, because, if you're living a lavish lifestyle and this guy's like giving you all his pain, he's feeding you, he's basically getting you high, no worries, right? All good. This guy's taking care of you. And then suddenly he's like, you got to go. He's like, no, nobody's here. Close the windows. No big deal. I was in my room doing drugs by myself. I was depressed. I was angry. I was just basically like video games, negative food, didn't want to speak to my family, super depressed, hate my job, hate my life, just counting the days until I was off this planet. Like this was my reality, 2016, 2017. And maybe into the beginning of 2017. And then, I recognized the benefit of it, because when I got into coaching, I got into business, I was telling people, I'm like, well, you should cleanse yourself like once a year at least. Whether it be you do a detox, or you switch to all veggie diet, or you do a water fast or a juice cleanse, or you do a hydrocolonics, you get this stuff done, because there's a lot of things inside of you, and we don't go for an oil change like our lucky car every 6 months. We just basically try to do things from the internals, right? We just keep adding more stuff in there. Oh, man. And it was crazy to think the energetic block up, the energetic buildup. I'm still in this surreal feeling. Like I almost feel like I'm like on a distant planet. Like a piece of me is gone. So I did this session, and fast forward to 2019 here. I did this session for Lynn Finlay, and I hate to put your numbers out there for you, because this is like, and then Chantel, I hate to put your numbers out here for you too. I'm going to tag you guys in this just to let you guys know what's up. But I did this session for this woman, and I'm like, you got some really spiritual looking numbers in there, like a lot of them. And she's like, oh, I do hydrocolonics therapy. I got my own thing. This very meditative stuff that's happening inside of her. She's very calm. She's like super, and I was kind of like, oh, because I thought, I didn't realize it was like a therapy. Hey, Fern, what's up? Gotta go. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Melly, for joining us. Catch the replay. So
bye, Melody.
I did her session, and I'm like, you got a lot of really spiritual energy. You got a really a very strong spiritual vibe. And then we started putting 2 and 2 together. She does colonics, and this thing flipped up in me, was like, I have to do my colonics. And so I was like, just like this thing just raised its hand, saying, being like, you're ready to let go. And up until now, I've been doing a tea detox. I've been buying supplements. I've been doing like resets and like gut health things, and doing cool stuff, and changing our diets, and getting healthier, and drinking lots of water, and getting off the energy drinks, and getting off all the crazy stuff that you do to your body. And all that stuff was basically, I was working through it. I hired like a bunch of different cool people, energy healers, hypnotherapies. I hired a shaman. I basically work with a lot of people. We hired doctors. And behind the scenes, because I'm thinking to myself, this business I'm in, when I'm helping people, it's nuts. What I'm doing for someone, it's insane. I'm doing their numerological colonics. No? Anyone? Anyways, so I was doing her session, and I'm like, you have some really spiritual numbers, and I recognized her as a healing and a emotionally aware, spiritually aware healing space for people to process their energy. And I was stunned. I was like, wow, that's nuts. Like I thought, because I hadn't had my experience yet, I'm like, that's like really overpowered for the level of work that you do. Like, you should be out there really helping people do this really big thing, not just dealing with everyone's shit all day long. And, but nevertheless, she inspired me to go get it done. Unfortunately, it wasn't worth like a, $15,000 in flights for all the kids and all this stuff. Hey, Lance, what's up? To get everybody there and back. So I was like, I'm going to go find a place close to me. And last year, Sally's a whiz kid on Marketplace, okay? She can sell, like,
anything.
Like, she can sell water to a fish. She can sell water to the ocean. It's nuts. I'm like, you can't make that money. And she's like, trust me. I make more on things after I buy. And even if it is broken, she's still going to sell it.
No, you don't want to sell it.
No, anyway, whatever. But the reality is that she can sell, like, anything. And I'm impressed. And I'm just like, what? Can you sell magic machines? She's like, I'm on it.
But sometimes I donate stuff,
Donates a lot.
Yeah.
Really good. I like it. And we buy stuff in the thrift store too. And I'm like, hey, cool. I like buying stuff. Mm-hmm. Stuff you can't find, you can't get, right? It's neat. Clothes, maybe not so much. But weird things, like, I'm a closet hoarder. Anyway, so she's selling this bidet thing, And this girl comes in and she's just like, oh yeah, you know, I'm gonna take it, gonna buy it from you, da 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 da. And then she realizes that pieces and parts are missing, so the deal can't go through. And I had no idea. She's like, just sell it and get rid of it. And then I'm like, oh, so when I saw her, I'm like, oh, do you want to open it up to make sure it's all good? So I basically like ruined the sale.
Well, it's good that we checked it.
Well, yeah, because that would have been, you know, super embarrassing. You know, don't do that to people, bad karma. But it's missing a piece. It wasn't working. She's like, oh, it's got to be here somewhere. I'm like, obviously it's got to be here somewhere. But the kids get in it and they start throwing something. You got a box full of garbage. It's in there. You don't know where the hell it is. Hey, Uncle, how's it going? My Uncle Behen. Love it when you see me live, brother. I appreciate you so much. He's always such a loving energy. Always been like, he's like my favorite uncle. It's like he's my dad's cousin, and so they're like the funny guys together. And he's so cool. You have, yes, you have, yes. Very, very fun guy, and so super cool. Love seeing you guys. I absolutely appreciate you. Love you, Uncle. So the sale didn't go through, and then I got talking to her. I'm like, she's like, oh, I'm a hydrocolonics therapy, this and that. And I'm like, oh, wow, cool. And this is way before I had the session, like a year ago. Like, oh, wow, cool, neat. That's awesome. You know, we do this enagic thing. It works really good with hydrotherapy. You know, we work with people to try to get it done. And like, you know, I'm looking for people inside of that field because we're new to the island and I want to start spreading our influence out here. And would love to be able to connect with you guys and hook it up and get that thing set up. So she's like, cool, sweet, yeah, keep me in mind, right? Like connection made, sweet, cool, got a lead, awesome. You know, business mind kicks in, right? And then goes by, and obviously business mind kicks out again. Don't do anything about it. And then I had this session, and then this person pops in my head. I'm like, I already had a face to the name. Super vulnerable kind of feeling, getting stuff stuck up the bum, spiritually invasive to think I'm going to be letting go of this negative energy I've built an identity around, this self-loathing feeling of like, oh my God. And so she was like, so I was like, I'm going to do it. I don't care. I'm just going to subtle art. I'm not giving a fuck. I'm just going to get it done. And basically I was like, okay. I went to the site, I looked at it, I was like an impulse buy.
You were freaking out.
I was freaking out. Still freaking out. So I was freaking out and I'm like, woohoo.
And here I was like trying to.
She's like, why didn't you tell me? She's like, I want to do this too. Why'd you leave me behind? Yeah, she's making it about her. She's like, you don't care about me. And I'm like, no, just relax. It's about me. I got some stuff going on. You don't know. And I mean, Sally's numbers are on the ground. Like she's my grounding, like the foundation to my life, okay? Like without this woman, I wouldn't have done like half the things I did in my world so far, right? She gave me a son, she gave me 3 kids, like she gave me a family. And so she was the ground. There's a foundation. I'm out there in the freaking clouds, like, you know, like either smoking in them or traveling in them, like super spiritual energy. Like I need something like this to help anchor me in. So I'm like, you don't get it, you don't understand, you know, like this is super spiritual stuff. But she's obviously all about the health, so she came in it from the ground up. I was hitting it from the top down. So I booked my session in, and she books hers in like the time slot after. And then the anxiety starts to build. I'm like, well, what is it gonna feel like? Like, are we gonna make eye contact? Is she gonna be there the whole time? Oh my God, she's gonna be there the whole time. And she's like our age, so it's like weird, right? And I'm like, she's gonna do it herself. Is there like a machine? You know, does she pat me on the back? And, you know, and all this stuff. And I'm just like, oh, this is so much to handle. And I committed anyway, and my heart's racing. And I'm like super squeamy. And then Lynn's like, let me have a chat with you. I'm like, okay. And then I push it off. And then I'm like, oh, the day before we have a chat about it. She's like, guys are precious. I get it. You're precious. Your butt's precious. And she's like kind of making fun of me here. I'm like, my butt is precious. I have a butt. Okay. Everyone does. Like, oh my God. And then like, I was like, you know, okay, fine. So I like washed up really good. And like, you know, I'm getting ready for this and anxiety's there. And Sally's like, you're such a whip. Like, oh my God, dude. This is her energy. She's like, why are you making such a big deal out of this? It's nothing. Just do it. It's all good. You know, and she's like, just like, you know, like doing one of these. And I'm like,
Are you gonna go first or should I go first?
I thought I was gonna buy myself some extra time, you know, and she's gonna get it done, and I'm like, no.
The more the fear.
Yeah, and I was like, no, because then I had to pick up the girl, my little Tala during the in between her. Logistically speaking, she's like, you just go first, right? Because now suddenly I sold her on the fact that she had to do some driving around and work, and she's like, yeah, okay, you go. It's all good. So I go in, I get it done, and oh, my little girl's. Can you run and grab her? Little baby girl's sick right now, so we gotta take care of her. So hi, honey. Oh, it's okay. So I go in there, and I got my crystal with me, and she's like, all right, here's your gown, your whatever you can. It's kind of hot in here, so you don't have to keep your shirt on. You can keep your shirt on, but pants off, bottoms off, and you know, like the thing on the the hospital has no back on the end of it. She's like, I'll be back. It's like a doctor's table. She got this machine there that looks like a weird Kangen machine. And like, and then there's a sink and a toilet. So it's basically like a high-powered like therapy bathroom. Hi, honey. Oh, are you okay?
She woke up.
Look at her. She's sick. She's not feeling good.
Better now.
She's feeling better. Everybody, quickly, send my little daughter some love vibes. This is like the worst we've ever seen her. Hey, she's always coming in, laughing, and wants to say hi. She is straight up choked right now. Like she does not look good. She does not look. She looks great. But she's just really not happy. She's not in a good mood. So if you don't mind to send some love energy to her, I would really appreciate it. Last time we asked for that, she just started to feel really better, started taking food in. But little kids, they get sick, right? And it's so sad. It's so cute, but so sad. I'm like, you're so adorable. And then she was like, sorry. And I'm like, aw, it's okay. Are you sorry? You're so cute.
But she was still bullying.
But she was still bullying Cameron. And just like, like she's just like super. She's her own woman. She's her own boss. I'm scared of her. She's gonna get older. She's gonna get powerful. Anyway, so I go in there and I got my crystal. I'm like naked. I'm inside this thing.
You did? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I took my shirt. It was too hot in there. I'm like,
no, the crystal.
I took this one with me, and I'm like, whew. I took off my watch and all my stuff, and I'm like, I'm just gonna let go of all this stuff, no big deal. And I'm like, I'm here now. I'm just gonna get it done. It's not. I was asking the funniest questions, like, do they use lube? Like, how far up my butt they're gonna go? Am I gonna feel it? All of this stuff was happening. Patrick, you got to the really powerful part of the story, my brother. What's going on? I'm just talking about my hydrocolonics, bro. I got water up the bum today. It was nutty. And I'm not talking about what I was passing. So basically, I sat there and like, she knocks back in, and I was thinking to my head, I'm like, oh, I'm as ready as I'll ever be. Let's just get this shit over with.
Yeah.
And so she comes in and she's like, okay, are you good? I'm like, yeah. She's like, ready as you'll ever be. And I'm like, oh man, just do it, okay? Woo! So she's like, all right, turn to your side, and and this is what we're gonna use. And it came in a plastic bag. So Sally's like, make sure it's in a plastic bag. She's all about like, like she's like, oh my God, there's a fly in the house, there's germs everywhere. So Sally's my God. And woo, I still have a vivid memory of the breeze.
Just relax.
Of the breeze. The breeze I felt on my rectum. The sun don't go there. I felt the cold air. And then I felt this thing going in there, and I'm like, here it comes. Oh. And then she puts it in there, and that was it. I was like, all right, wow, it was not as bad as I thought it was. Okay, cool, we're here, we're doing this. She saw my butt, and I'm like, I haven't even seen my butt. And she saw my most delicate part of me. And I was like, okay. She was making me feel super comfortable. I can only imagine how many times she's had to get into an awkward situation. She's had trained professionals, right? These are therapists.
She's done this like
thousands of times. So I was already with that program. I get it. I understand, right? It's cool. It felt kind of cool. Like, it didn't feel cool. It felt cold. And there's lots of lube in there, so it didn't hurt. Yeah, she used extra lube. And I was like, okay, so it's a slippery feeling.
She didn't say anything about that.
And so I felt like violated, but in a safe way. It wasn't really violation. It was more like you trust your doctor. Like, you know, they tell you, I was telling my kids, I'm like, giving my Stanley a gut check. That's funny. That it gives new meaning. So I was giving him a gut check the other day. I'm like, Stanley, who gets to touch your wiener? And he's just like, and he couldn't think of anyone. And I'm like, and then I don't think he even said him. And he's like he's trying to find the answer. And I'm like, good, no one. Nobody's allowed to touch your wiener. Unless you're sick and you have to go to the doctor. He's like, you can? I'm like, no, I cannot. I will not touch your wiener. Okay? You're a grown-ass little boy. So, you know, you're a grown I'm not going to touch your wiener, bro. And you're not allowed to touch mine, and nobody's allowed to touch yours until you're old. You fall in love. That's a different story. You know,
or only mom giving you a shower.
If mom has to give you a shower. Or if you're feeling sick and the doctor needs to take a look at you and, you know, figure you out, right? So I was trying to, because he's 4, trying to figure out how to do this stuff as a parent. I'm like brand new here. So, so she saw my butt. and I was like, I didn't feel violated. I felt like it was a safe space. And then she starts doing the thing. So in case you guys have never had one before and you're like, what does it feel like? Oh my God.
Especially for men, right?
Especially for dudes. Like
it's a big deal for men.
It's a big deal for guys. Unless you're a guy who puts stuff up your butt all the time, in which case you're like, dude, you're missing out. I'm like, all right,
That's
okay.
probably only women.
It's funny because my bro Jamie was like, you know, they put this picture. There's like God put the G spot in a man right in his butt, and I'm like, oh crap. So I was thinking, what if I have like some sort of weird male orgasm in there? Because you know, like it's inside of the thing there. No, she's okay. It's okay. She's fine. She's sleeping. Sweetheart, I love you. So I was like, what if I have some kind of weird, weird male orgasm? This would be super awkward. Like she just presses the button. I'm like, eh. So I was like kind of afraid of that, right?
Oh, now I get it.
Well, because there's all this energy's in there. And I'm like, you know, it's my butt. And then there's like spiritual stuff in there too. We were talking about this earlier. So the experience was actually, it felt hydrating. It felt like she pumps water in there, and it sounds a lot more squeamish. I still feel squeamish about it, as opposed to how it actually felt. So how it actually felt wasn't nearly as bad as the mental picture of what it brings you to feeling, the thinking of like oh, what, and it made me feel like that feeling you get when you have to go to the bathroom, but it wasn't like intense, like oh my God, I'm afraid I'm about to poop my pants. I wasn't wearing any pants, but the reality was that I felt like I was that there was a cooling sensation going through my body, and I'm like, okay, I feel this, and then some surges were a bit bigger than others, and then eventually stuff started to pass through, whether it be flaky or it was like bile or like, you know, stuff that you have in there. Shoot, that's the other one now.
Yeah, I'm gonna go in.
We've run out of Sally. There's not enough Sally to go around. One baby's sick, the other baby's waking up.
I'll be back.
She'll be back. Until then, I shall entertain you and regale you with my energy. Oh man, guys, I feel super clear. I feel so super clear right now. Actually, it ended up, so then the first thing came out was really weird, and it was like a white little clove of garlic, and I'm like, I don't know what that is, and it like usually stuff just wants to pass through, but this thing was like clinging on, and I'm like, ooh, I feel like I need my Bible here right now. Like it actually literally felt like there was something like negative expressing itself. And then there were other, I don't want to get descriptive because I know some people got some weird stomachs, and this is like, Bobby, what are you doing, man? You talk about numerology all the time. Now you're talking about this shit show. And I'm just sitting here being like, you guys got to do this. Like you actually have got to get this done. I am going to be posting links. I'm going to be talking about this again. I'm going to go through this and interview Lynn. I'm going to definitely spend some time and energy on this. I felt really lightheaded and surreal afterwards. I didn't. I just wanted to sit outside. I just wanted to be a kid. I just didn't want to do anything. And the kids were getting ready to go to their dad's house for the weekend. We were too short for the weekend, and I was just like, I just need to lie down. I just need to lie down, and my butt still felt wet from the lube for some reason. I'm like, I got it all out. I know I did, but like I was feeling like I wanted to lie down. I just wanted to lie down for a minute, and I went to sleep and had some really disturbing nightmares about just my life and people in it, and I had a dream that I broke up with Sally and I moved in with Julian Sherman into their mansion, and it was crazy. It was nuts, and I was being introduced to everyone. There's people there. There's a community there. And all my mind was thinking, how do I figure this out? I got a son, I have a wife, and I don't want to do this. And I'd almost wake myself up. I just didn't have the tolerance to go through with the dream. But I was burning a fever almost. I was sweating. I felt like energy was being released. Oh, hi, sweetie. There's baby number 2. I got cute babies everywhere. Oh, it's too bright for him. Hi. Oh, let me see you. Kids trip. Hey Sue, what's going on? How you doing though? What's up? I love Sue. She's like a bottle of happiness that just shakes and just sits there waiting. Someone open her up. So yeah, I had my hydrocolonics. It was a crazy experience. I will be speaking about this. There is a spiritual center inside of you that people don't understand is there. And to know that it is, hi my cute. Hi my cute. It is one of the most important and valuable things you'll ever do to regain the reins of your body. The gut feels like it's like your reins, right? You have your horse, and you put the harness on the horse, and this thing steers you. It steers you, and if you let it go to the negative end, it's going to destroy you. And it destroyed me. It destroyed my relationships. It destroyed my relationship with myself. I didn't realize how much was in there. And I still have it all in there. Not much got out. It was just a portion.
And
she's
that's because you weren't relaxed.
I felt like I was relaxed. When I felt like I was, but I was a little bit of tension because I was a little bit like, am I leaking? Is there water coming out? Are you seeing my poo? And then and the hose was touching my leg, and I thought it was her massaging my leg, and I'm like, it's the tube. She's trying to keep it in place, and I'm almost trying to push it out. And then we tried to reinsert it a little bit, and it was you know what? It's in there. Let's just let it be in there. And so and the conversation was great, and I was it was tough because there were some parts where I was looking up, and then I felt like I was being rude because she was talking to me. So then we made eye contact a lot. And it was good conversation. She made it really easy. We talked about her numerology, and it was tough to have a conversation when a tube is up your butt, and she's like, "Oh wow, really, huh?" And she's pushing water in you. Oh wow. I'm like, "Oh, here you go." And I'm like, "This is can we not do this? Can we just turn on some meditative music or something? I don't know, whatever." Because I'm gonna be here for an hour, and I'm kind of looking at the machine to see if the stuff gonna come out. And some things did more than some, not less than some.
Are you gonna talk about that white thing?
I did. This little weird looking garlic clove passed through, and she's like, "What is this?" And it was sticking. It was sticking to the tube, and it almost felt like I almost felt like I needed a Bible. It felt like a very spiritual experience to release something. And she's like, "Oh, it must have just been food." She was trying to save my pride a little bit, I think. But, or maybe she just, I don't know, because she's a life path 11 like me, and I went into a number of super spiritual numbers. And I'm like, you're doing some seriously powerful work for people. And she's like, "Oh my God, you get it. Holy crap. Oh my God, you get it. It's crazy." And she was cracking jokes. So it was fine. She met me at my level. She met me at my humor. It was fine. It was good there. She had a sign in and said, 4.5 stars, would poop here again. So the part that wasn't enjoyable was that Jen was screaming her face off for like an hour, and Sally seems to be like desensitized to this, so she's like, "Oh, it's all good, babies cry."
Because I had the other two, and the more you pay attention, the more she cries.
There's a logic in there. So I'm like, I'm kind of just like, I'm gonna take them to the car. I'm gonna take them out. My wife's doing a thing right now. I don't want to disturb her. And so this is probably very distracting. She's trying to go to the bathroom, and this baby's just like bloody murder screaming. So I'm just like, and she does this during sessions as well. When I'm working with people and this little girl just goes off. If I'm in session and she does that, let's try to put her in a room or take her outside. She loves going outside and looking at the ground. So trust me, it really works. It just when you guys leave and she's like, sorry. And then I go, come on, put your boots on. We're going outside. And she goes outside. She loves it outside. But man, was that intense. So I came out of there feeling pretty surreal, pretty lightheaded. I needed to have a dream. I needed to have a lay down. I had a really negative dream experience. I was sweating. I felt dizzy. I felt like a piece of me was missing. And then even now, I'm breathing differently. I feel like a layer is removed. I feel more in clarity. I feel like there's a new version of me. Like it's almost like I'm trying to feel for something that's no longer there. I'm trying to search for something that doesn't exist anymore. And I feel like I still have some stuff blocked up in there. We booked a couple more sessions for each of us. And I'm gonna go through with it. It's not like I feel the anxiety of the physical act anymore. She already saw my anus. And I'm like, oh man, is there nothing left sacred? And we're gonna have calming conversation through this whole thing too. Like, oh my God.
Just don't think of it like that, then it'll be more comfortable.
Well, because then Sally was telling me, oh, you weren't ready to let go, like you didn't pass through everything, you were holding on to stuff. And I was ready to let go of everything, she says. And I'm like,
I was the opposite.
Because see, Sally went there and she passed through a lot. There was lots of stuff going on in there. All of this stuff was happening inside of this, right? And I was like, this is crazy. Absolutely, this is nuts. And I was, on the other end, I was like, I need to let go of stuff, and I wasn't ready to let go. And then Chantel, my CT, was like, you gotta have a conversation with your stomach, conversation with yourself. She was okay to go into the spiritual side of it. I'm like, honey, I'm a numerologist. I'll go. That's where I live, in the spiritual side of this. I got you. And so I was all about that feeling of separating your spiritual weight and your spiritual energy of like clinging, the bacteria clinging to your life to sustain itself. Like if any of you guys are Marvel fans, this is what Venom, these are symbiotes. They basically like are parasites that satisfy themselves by hosting your body and living through your energy. There's a reason why there's such a big culture about zombies. It's nuts. And to think that I went, oh, and I could see again, I could feel again, I could breathe again. I'm not kidding, guys. This was so unbelievably nuts. I pray that you guys find it in your path to go take the shit of a lifetime.
Yeah, I highly recommend you doing it.
I would recommend hands down the same way that I recommend someone to do a psychedelic dose of mushrooms once in their life. I would recommend this is a definite you must do
that
at least. She's gonna do it.
No.
I promise you. But it's a very shamanic thing. Like if anybody knows about mushrooms, they spore mushrooms inside of radioactive nuclear places that there have been nuclear waste, because the mushrooms absorb the nuclear waste from the inside at the the biochemical level. So when you put them inside of your body, and not just the ones, the shiitake and the you know, the ones you portobello and all that stuff. We're talking about the ones who decompose your spiritual binary. This isn't about getting high. The magic mushrooms, you get pretty high. But the reality is that you actually go to your source center. Topic for another day, entheogens. Look them up. But this is on that level where I'm like, you need to go in there and get it all cleaned out. It will change the way that you live your life. Sally, you have any thoughts on this? Like, can you chime in?
My experience is like the opposite of yours. Just think about that.
Help me out here. Can you put this? I was excited.
No, you weren't. You were freaking out.
I was motivated.
You were motivated.
I was courageous.
The process of doing it, I guess, was not very comfortable for you.
It was not.
Yeah.
No.
And I'm sure some guys are feeling the same way too. If they were to do that.
A friend of mine told me one time, he's like, when you're in the shower, go put your finger up there, see what it feels like. I'm like, no. Like, I was squeamy about it. You know, some certain things you just don't go in there. And I didn't realize that I had this spiritual cave of like demonic energy that was like just taking hostage of my life. Like I felt like I was a prisoner in my own world. And it showed up in the languaging, in the self-abuse, the feeling that I do to the things I do to myself that I'm like not proud of, that I've done to myself that I'm not proud of. Like all of this stuff just comes in and it makes me realize that it's like, no, I don't actually hate myself. I don't actually, want to hurt myself. I don't actually want to be in this pain. But I was at odds with myself being like, why don't I just succumb to this? Why don't I just, like surrender to this hate that I have inside of my soul and take my own life? I'm gonna suffer slowly. And all of these negative mind tracks were just like, and I didn't realize that it was my gut brain doing that to me.
Yeah, because that affects your physical. Like for me, it affected my thyroid and leaky gut syndrome, whatever they call that.
I didn't even know you had a leaky gut.
And now I'm thinking maybe because of the thyroid, it's causing that, and the brain fog and all that. Now.
Yeah, because you remember sometimes she gets really self-conscious after she goes to the bathroom, and I'm like, hey, what's up? And she's like, hey, don't be mean to me. And I'm like, no, that's impressive. You gotta, like, bathroom humor is fun, right? It's funny, but she didn't find it very funny, and I also didn't as well. So, about myself, but about her, of course, I'm ready to tease. But I had no idea, that we deal with this kind of stuff, and for me, it was at a super spiritual level. And I'm thinking, like, you got to get clear. You got to clean that. It's so vital.
And to find out that we eat a lot of sugar, and not just from the bad sugar, but even healthy ones like fruit. And I eat a lot of fruit. And I found out that it's coming from that, too much sugar from fruit.
I just eat a lot of processed sugars, like candies and gummies and, sour keys and all that kind of stuff. Like, bag of candy. And like, I'd always have a stash of candy in my office where the kids didn't know where it was. And so I was like, oh, you're hiding this? I'm like, damn right I am. I don't want these kids to find my candy. They're going to eat it all. And I'm not going to have any candy no more. Like, I'm a kid, right? But, oh man, I don't know when this started, but I know that today is where it's ending. And, this is the moment where I'm reclaiming a bigger part of my health that I neglected for a very long time.
You're going to commit to it now.
Well, I already committed. We already bought the sessions. Yeah. I've already committed to the first. I was courageous. I was brave. I pushed through it. But for me, it was more of the energetic release of what I've been damaging my body with for the last 30-something years of my life.
I feel amazing. I feel cleaner inside and out.
I feel a lot better. I feel almost as if part of me is gone.
Mm-hmm.
Like breathing is different. Breathing is different. I didn't realize that something was in there preventing me from breathing properly. Like, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I felt that too.
Like, breathing now is a lot different. Like, I feel hydrated in my bum. Like, I feel my colon has got, like, nutrients now or like, hydrated.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm going back. And my CT centile was like, this wasn't it. Like, there's more stuff in there. You got more stuff to get through. I'm like, all right, okay, cool, we cool. But I feel different. I like, even being with you guys, like, I feel like my energy isn't the same that it usually is when I'm going live, and like I feel like a difference. Like, it's hard to explain. Like, more ironically as I yawn, more energy. But yeah, I needed to sit down and sit. And I was like irritated and I was angry, and Sally's like, "Can you help with the bed?" And I'm just like grumbled and get up. So I'm a man of service. I go down there and I look at it with a screwdriver, and I'm like, I picked up the wrong tool, and I can't do this. And I went put it back down. I'm like, I can't do this right now. I went back to bed. And get it done, guys. Yeah. Don't neglect this.
And then after that, you have to maintain it and really
maintain it. You know, get onto healthy foods. Yeah. Get onto like a healthy way of living your life. Mind exercise is just as good as physical exercise. Physical exercise, there's no replacement for that. There's no replacement for eating right.
Because your body is connected to your mind, and that's connected to your soul. So everything is connected.
I'm just gonna be fair with you guys. You're a machine. You guys don't understand this.
Your body carries your
soul. Your body carries your soul. Your soul is the pilot.
Your soul is the machine that carries
your body is the machine, and your soul is the pilot. Yeah. Okay? Dust to dust, ashes to ashes. Everything old under the sun. This is all cosmic stardust. We are just vibrations of a consciousness that have decided to manifest itself in this certain way. And so it's a wonderful feeling to think that we have control over this. There's a science behind our bodies. And if you're not hip to the game, if you don't understand this, you will be destroyed and your karma will grow. And you're going to come back here with more negative energy. And we're in a rise right now. We're rising. Our conscious global energy consciousness right now is on the rise because people are talking about this stuff. We're connecting dots, numerology, to this water, to this hydro stuff, and colonics, and bigger health. Your body is a machine. It will one day be outdated and rust and decompose, and your soul will want to come back in and get an updated model. And you're going to do this over and over and over and over and over until you reach that high level, like my boy Buddha over here, who gives it all up. Prince, born into royalty, gives it all up to experience suffering and pain, and realizes that it's like not even about that. And like this unreal feeling to think that you are perfect. You're absolutely perfect the way you are. There's nothing incomplete. There's nothing wrong with you.
You were made perfect. You
were made in a perfect image. Mm-hmm. And it was the pain and the hurt and the irritation and the frustration and the, of the past that affects you now. ADD isn't a problem with kids. If your kid has ADD, it's a problem with you. It's a problem with you as a parent not being able to have the surplus of energy and attention to give to their deficit. We're the ones who are guilty, putting our kids on video games, putting our kids on tablets, putting our kids on electronics. I love electronics. Electronics. Every day we use machines. Every day, and they're getting faster and more HD and more giga, nano, quada, biga, giga, wigga, zigga. Like, man, it's nuts. But that doesn't change the fact that I'm here giving you a spiritual experience. I'm connecting with you at the soul level. So I like to think I figured out technology. I'm not the I'm not that guy. I'm the one who's like, turn my phone upside down, put it in my pocket, put it away, leave it at home, leave it in the car. Our phones, we try not to leave them in our room. We charge them outside of our room. I know how to connect through this medium, this digital space, and this is why our message becomes so freaking important. You have to cherish this technology, this age that we're in. Hundreds of people are going to see this. I wish it was millions. One day it will be.
Soon.
Soon. One day it will be. Soon, one day it will be. And I know that because of all these, someone's going to see mine and be like, hey, and they're going to want to watch, whether it be for a minute or a full hour. You're going to watch, and you're going to get some value. You're going to find something out about yourself. You're going to hear something. You're going to inspire someone to pick their life up. Sally had a
that
really...
just happened to me today.
Go for it.
Yeah, and I got a message. She was saying that I was scrolling and I saw your video and there was something there that you said, that one thing, that one line that you said that really inspired me and encouraged me. So that felt really like I felt fulfilled to hear that.
I was like, and I was sitting here coming back and I'm telling her I had a really bad dream. You know, we broke up and I moved in with Julian and it was so crazy. And like, I had to wake up. I didn't want to dream it anymore. And I knew I was dreaming. And then she's like, oh, this person was inspired by me. And I was like, wow, you know, you never know the footprint. You never know the thing that you do, that you go through, that your story will inspire someone to feel or go or experience something inside of themselves. Unbelievable. It's a wonderful feeling, guys, to think that what we have, it's so strange. And like, you know, we have a voice. We have our own story. We have our own equation. And you get to go out there and share that with someone so that they can become a better person.
Yeah.
Or you can go and, or what people are doing is taking energy from people in order to make themselves feel better. Feel bad for me. I'm a victim. Look what happened to me. You know, and like I was embarrassed about this at the beginning because I was like, shoot, I'm sharing my story. I'm just doing this for likes. And then I recognized the bigger version of me. I was like, no. I'm doing this because I want to find the person out there who I used to be when they're in that shitty situation and they feel like their life is ending and it's all over. I want to be there and I want to let them know I know where I know where you've been, I know what you're going through. I've been there. And you know, it's okay. And I hope that I can inspire you. Whether you've been broke, $20,000 in debt, or you've been drugged up, hundreds of dollars every few days on drugs, or you've been so lonely that you just like hide away in your room, or you only leave your house to go to your job and then you run home. Or maybe you're on the other side where you have transient relationships and you don't want to commit and you don't want to have kids. You feel like you're going to screw them up. Like there's so many different things that show up inside of life. And I hope that you guys find peace. I hope you find power. I hope you clean up your butt. And, you know, and that you put good things in your body. You put good things in your ear.
Take care of yourself so that you can take care of others.
You put good things in front of you. Mm-hmm. Like I'm addicted to kids apparently. And like I like to think that that's one of the more solid things I can do with my life. Addiction. Addicted to helping them raise them into human beings. And it's frustrating because they don't listen. And I'm like, I'm in charge and really I'm not. And I have to reconcile that. And it's funny, as I said that, I looked right at my keyboard. It says control.
It's not that they don't listen. They listen if you know how to make them listen.
So in other words, they don't listen.
You have to know how to make them listen.
I'm getting there. I'm getting pretty good at it. I know how to like trick them into being happy. You know, you just give them a like for Tala, it's easy. You just give her you hold her hand or like give her a hug. Yeah. I'm like, come here, you tell me what happened. Hey Annabelle, what's up? Welcome. You're catching the tail end of this. Basically talked about hydrocolonics, so the tail end, get it? But my Sally and I, we went and got our bums cleaned today, and it changed my life. Thank you.
Saving our
It
lives.
saved my life. I want to and I even told my mom, I was like, I thank you so much for the love that you gave us growing up. My little girl is sick upstairs, and so we missed our ferry today because we couldn't go to the mainland. We couldn't go to the mainland because my little girl is sick, and I would feel super judged by all the gods, and my mom included, being like, oh my God, she's so sick. Oh my God, what are you doing? Why did you do this? And we may still go if she feels better, but there's a chance we're going to miss my Uncle Jack's 70th birthday. Like, this is like weighing on my mind because this is my Uncle Jack. Like, he's been there ever since I was a kid, you know.
But that's almost 11.
Yeah, it's almost 11:11. We're coming up to an hour. So happy birthday, Uncle Jack.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to Joanne, our great grandmother, or
their great grandmother.
My step grandmother. I don't know sure you want to call this. Like the kid's great grandmother from the dad's side has embraced me as one of her own and embraced us, and even Sally married in. She embraces us because of the kids. It's a wonderful feeling. Happy 11/11, absolutely wonderful angel inside of there. And he says, what's up, sir? I cleaned out my bum. We went for a hydrocolonics. It was the most powerful thing I've ever done. If you're kind of weird about it, I'll tell you something. It doesn't feel as weird as you think it does. It doesn't hurt. It feels like, you know, you have to go to the bathroom. It's a little bit awkward if you're sensitive to that kind of thing, and I don't blame you if you are. I'm absolutely super sensitive to this, but I got a chance to get it done anyway, and it changed the way that I saw the world. I felt super clear and clean, and I feel like this is something I should be doing once every 6 months, like 6 to 8 months. I'm going to do 3 of them and just clean everything out and reset my body.
Part of our lifestyle.
I want to do this now as opposed to talking to a naturopath when I'm 50, and they're like, you should go see, we did this, Dr. Michael Donaldson, thank you so much. I guess this is the credits.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Michael Donaldson, for testing my hair and my spit. I thought you were going to do some voodoo stuff. I didn't realize you were actually testing for actual contaminants. Thank you to my mom. Thank you to Lynn for showing up in my life as a client and helping me to become spiritually aware of why I needed to do this and the conviction you gave me. Thank you, Chantel and VitaCare. You guys were absolutely a blessing. What's that?
Oh. See, not many people know about this.
Hydrocolonics. Do you know what your colon is? And do you know what hydro means? You take a hose and they pump you with water. And then you poo. And then you get rid of stuff that you've been holding on to for decades. Like you've never had one done. And you're not a young pup anymore. So imagine, my boy Eddie, he's a good boy, he's a good guy. We got to do business, bro. You got to get on this. I know you were looking at this before and you haven't picked it up. Now's the time. Anyway, reach out to me if you're still at all interested. But if you're not, great to see you, bro. Awesome to see you. So they put the hose up your bum and they drain the waste that you've been collecting your entire life, and it can get downright biblical, like the light of God. Thank you, Chantel, for making it a comfortable experience, for helping us be like, it was super real. She was very non-invasive. She did not make it awkward. I felt like I'm going to go back again. Brett, what's up, brother? I love this guy. He was always so funny in high school. It was like we were friends back then. Still are. Great guy. Absolutely. Good energy. Absolutely love you, bro.
Hi, Brett.
High school buddies. So, basically I was talking about getting my hydrocolonics done. So crazy, man. It was nuts. If you never put anything up your butt before, this is what you put up your butt. And if you have, Yay!
then this is not a big deal anymore.
Guys do this. We just joke around all the time. I don't want to take up too much of your time, guys. This is Bobby and Sally, your ultimate podcast. I appreciate you guys for watching, sharing this experience with us. I hope you noticed a difference. I hope you watched the growth. I hope you've been seeing the growth. This is another part and parcel of it. We come out to you guys here, and we want to share our stories with you, so you know that this is what entrepreneurism looks like. This is what we do. We work from home. We work with people. We work on ourselves. We share our story. We become vulnerable. We put stuff up our butts. Oh, man, it was crazy. And I'm going back. I want it all out. I want to get it out. I'm ready to I just didn't have the spiritual conversation with myself that I need to in order to actually do it. So we'll see what happens next. But thank you guys so much for watching. Sally, you want to lead us out? Is there anything super awesome advice you want to give our watchers and viewers, listeners?
Yeah, if you've never done this before, I highly recommend it. It's a great way to take care of yourself so that you can take care of others. And by sharing your story, you could inspire somebody. And yeah, just
feels good to breathe. It feels good to breathe.
Be great.
Feels different to breathe. All right, guys, you have a great night. We'll talk to you guys soon. Show me some more information on that. Well, if you want to see, it's like, no, I'm just kidding. I will put some links. I'm going to put some stuff in there. I'll share that with you guys. Absolutely recommend it. Okay, and stay tuned. I will be talking about it more when I connect with my with Lynn. I'm going to do a go live with her.
It'll be a better experience than your next one.
Oh, man. All right, guys. You have a good night. We will talk to you soon. Take care, and we'll catch you on the next one.